And today we're doing another opinion piece on an article in the Hockey News, and this one involves travel. So this is actually going to be a very relevant one for us, because obviously we also be involved in travel as well, flying out from Europe. I've only said the UK there, but of course, obviously, for our trip this year, we went from UK into Ireland into USA. So I've only said UK, so it's technically not UK. And technically, Canada's now in Europe, so... Pluto! Well, they are. Pluto! God, he went there! You know I don't do that content anymore! Okay, well, Canada feels like he's up there for it. Oh, God, right, anyway, oh my God. Wow, but yeah, yeah, oh, that's going to create confusion. But anyway, no, but move on! Yeah, we'll move on. But yeah, so we know travel has been a very big deal when it comes to the PWHL, particularly how for the West Coast teams. Vancouver basically called that as the reason why they did so badly this year. Seattle, I think, also then joined on the bandwagon. But like, really? Really? I don't think that was your sole reason. Did it play a factor? Yes, it wasn't the sole factor as to why you didn't do so well. Right. But anyway, so here it is. So here we go. Right, let's find it. Right. So it's cost for flights. Skyrockets. The PWHL rapid expansion has added costs ahead. Okay, right. So this is basically all those doom. This is one of those Project Fear articles, isn't it? Well, we'll do it anyway. So as the PWHL's footprint continues to rapidly expand, some considerations like the skyrocketing cost of air travel will factor into the league's operating considerations. The PWHL is going new places for the 2026-27 season. The cost to get there, however, is continuing to soar. Now spanning from coast to coast, literally coast to coast, in the United States and Canada. Heck, the Europe. In Canada! The PWHL has rapidly grown to a 12-team league with teams now in Seattle, San Jose, Las Vegas, Vancouver, Minnesota, Detroit, Boston, New York, Montreal, Hamilton, Toronto, and Ottawa. With the USA's war against Iran, well, I love how the article says the USA's war. So we all know who we can point the poor blame at, don't we? Or so I can go away before you got the EU. You can away, yes. You can away, yes. Don't carry on doing it though. Otherwise you will be out. You put that step, you'll be doing a match penalty, carry on. So with the USA's war against Iran and the subsequent issues with transportation in the Middle East, oil and fuel prices have skyrocketed. Those costs are set to impact all consumers. Leagues like the PWHL, however, can't choose to stay home like many travellers have done. Instead, they need to continue to get from coast to coast for games, and also to new locations as part of next season's PWHL Takeover Tour. Because obviously we're expecting the Takeover Tour to be back next season. It'll be interesting to see where we go. Now we know expansion is not going to be happening again for quite some time. So I'd love it if we could have like a. As much as I'd love Denver and Emma to get more starts, I'd love to go to new first timers. Just have a like how last year's was, because last year's was all apart from Detroit. Okay, last year's all but one of the teams, all but one of the markets that we sent teams to was first timers. I'd love a Taylor tour where it's just like all first time cities, which I think we can do now. Next match not going to be happening for a while. I think it just illustrates the fact that geography has been a key factor into choosing who joins the league or not. Yeah. Because you can look at the league now, everybody has got at least one child buddy. Who's ours? Detroit. Is it really Detroit? Is it really Detroit? Yeah. Seriously? Yeah. Detroit? I don't know. That's apparently it is. Oh. We could go through it, but that's Charles buddy. So Seattle, Vancouver, San Jose, Las Vegas, New York and Boston, Toronto, Hamilton, Montreal, Ottawa, and there's Detroit. Anyway. So there's no hiding the fact that costs will not be carried by airlines, and instead will get passed to consumers, including the PHL, who is set to feel the financial pinch after adding 4 new teams, including San Jose and Las Vegas on the West Coast this season. Ballooning jet fuel prices are driving the recent surge, with airlines passing on some of the cost to passengers. Those prices aren't poised to descend anytime soon, one analyst has noted. The PHL travels economy class without use of private or chartered flights, so that might surprise a lot of you guys. Yeah, because this league, it's not like other sports leagues like the HL or MLB who have their own private jets and private team planes and all that. It's not like that. The PHL does fly economy, so basically like us. Because whenever we fly out on a plane, we do not do business class, we do economy. Alright. After the holes we had flying back, I'm tempted to shut the extra couple of pounds and just go first class. Jesus Christ. I kid you not, the 2 flights coming back from Minneapolis, I think were the most claustrophobic I've ever felt in my entire life. Yeah, can I tell you? You can't. Yeah, your claustrophobia is a bit weird because you're not claustrophobic when you're claustrophobic all the time. It's basically like come see, come saw. So sometimes you'll be fine, and then other times you won't be fine. That's why I don't have it at the top of my list of phobias. So the top of my list of phobias are heights, birds, water, and there'll be confined spaces. So God knows how I feel every time I have to go to the loo on the plane. I seriously don't get why some people find the Mile High Club attractive, because I can barely go in those cubicles to do a piss. Now, my feet's my fair. When you're feeling frisky, get your ass in there. Because they are really so small. It's like, how? It's like, I don't think you can even do all in there. Or a quick little tongue hockey. It's like, just, I don't get what the appeal of the Mile High Club is. I can barely go in those loos and do a piss. It's horrible. Anyway. But yeah, so that's probably going to be a shock to a lot of you people. And of course, obviously, we did spot the Sirens players in our yeah, we kid you not. As we were flying back to Minneapolis from Denver to get back in time for the 3rd and final game of our trip, was going to be against Ottawa, the Sirens players were also in the Denver airport at the same time. at the same time, but not saying check-in desk. Not saying check-in desk. We were in a different check-in area because we were flying back to Minneapolis. They were flying out to Vancouver because as far as next year was the same day as our gig as Aura. But as we were then making our way over to security, we were passing one of the check-in gates and we saw them right there. Right there. So there you go. So yeah, so that might surprise a lot of you people to know that this league does fly economy class. Those tickets have skyrocketed this year to an estimated 21%. Yeah, to an average of $570 per ticket. Oh my god! Yeah. And airlines expect customers to cover the higher jet fuel costs by early 2027, if not the end of this year. Seriously? They expect us, the taxpayers, to do that? Us, the taxpayers? Do they not know we're in a cost of living crisis? And for those within Dear Blighty, a constitutional crisis! Yeah. Oh, it's also every party's like, let's have a by-election! No! 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 No, because as we've also learned, that also costs us the taxpayers money as well. So just no. Yeah, don't talk British parties for a George right now, because you'll just get kicked to the balls. It's not a great time right now. Come back to us in conference season. We'll not have had Davidson do a stupid speech again, because that was rubbish last year. It really was. Anyway, back to the article. At $570 per ticket to a 23-player roster and several staff, it could cost teams more than $20,000 in airline tickets alone. Jesus Christ! 20 grand! 20 grand! £20,000! Should have gone in. That's for £20,000. You're asking why you mouth certain words. What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, you ever get surgery? You think Wendy has been obese? She had. Yeah, well, George can mouth words. Say sex. Psychotic present. She's not going to last for the traitor. She's getting murdered first, Miranda. She's getting murdered first. She's so getting murdered first. That is an easy first kill for the traitors. No one will notice she's gone. That's an easy first kill. So air ticket alone per game before you add on the extra baggage fees for pocket equipment, accommodations and more. It's still a minor cost compared to what more professional teams play since the PHL chooses to travel commercially in economy class. According to PHL, however, it's still business as usual. There are no material changes planned to our team's travel approach for the upcoming season. As always, we aim to balance travel efficiency and player experience with overall cost considerations, while also operating within the framework of the CBA. With the addition of expansion markets, there will naturally be some route adjustments, however, we anticipate that the schedule creation process will help optimize travel where possible. According to the PHL CPA, team travel longer than 6 hours or 400 miles shall be by air on regular commercial carriers in economy coach class. A determination of whether a trip exceeds 400 miles shall be measured by the distance between the point of origin and destination. When travelling by air on commercial flights, teams shall make reasonable efforts to fly without connecting flights if available, and shall make reasonable efforts to ensure that all player seats on such flights are aisle window seats if available in the event that total travel time is less by ground transportation than air travel, e.g. due to connections or layovers. Yeah, because obviously when obviously each expansion team was being announced, I did have to look to see, can you go one way? Or do you have to then basically do what we would have to do? So you start Manchester, then you go Dublin, then you go Minneapolis. Yeah, so that is interesting. I'll carry on. Such team travel may exceed 6 hours or 400 miles by around transportation with the agreement of a PWHL representative. For international travel, which shall not include travel between the USA and Canada, players shall travel business class. Where travel is by bus, players shall not be required to carry equipment in the seating areas. So if we ever got, let's say, a PHL coming to a global series, they would then fly business. Yeah. In the PHL, it means that many games can be travelled by bus. For expansion to Detroit and Hamilton, the league will be able to drive between TO, Hamilton, and Detroit. It could result in some long bus rides in the opposite direction as Hamilton sits just on the cusp of the 6 hour and 400 mile limit to Montreal, meaning that Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, and Hamilton would all be driven between by a bus. I've done that before to London. It's fine. I've done plenty in my youth. I've done plenty of staycation in this country, which was by bus, and it's actually doable. But that's because we get stopped at a nice service station, so it's fine. Still, as costs of airfare increase and the PHL's footprint expands, the league's costs will rise. The hope is that a larger footprint, more games, and new markets will boost revenue to a point where travel is an afterthought. Okay, so basically right now it's one of those small term pains, long term gains. Yeah? Yeah, because when you put more games on the calendar, you get more teams in the league, and you can get open revenue opportunities like the telly deal. Yeah. But I have no problem with picking markets that are close to one now. It's good because obviously in the in the American Hockey League, in the AHL, the record is you don't really play against teams outside of your division. You might, in my case, get one or two a year, but you may just stick to the teams that are in your division. So for me, that's 10. That is 9 of opponents because we're a 10-team division. Yeah, just but yeah. So I mean, to go anywhere these days, it is expensive. You know, whether you are actually in North America or if you're like us, you're coming in from Europe, it's always going to be expensive. It's always going to be pricey. And in fact, I think the flights was the most costly thing of the trip. Yeah. Which is why we can't always let them be sort of like done last, because you want to try and hold out for as long as you possibly can to try and get some good deals, and then let's go, right, get me card out, let's just do it. But yeah. So, I mean, I know right now it's kind of a frustrating thing You know, especially when we have a growing league like PHL that's growing at a fast rate, you want to see it thrive. You want to make sure the players, you know, get there safely. First, did you know about the economy thing? Not before we saw the stars in Denver Airport. It's like, hold it. It's like, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's like, all of it here. Yeah. But I never really thought of it. Before we had our trip this year, I never really thought about it how the players get around to the games. As long as they can get there safely, I'm fine. But I never really gave it a moment's thought. And then I see the Stars players as we're walking over to security, and like, oh no, could you? What would we have done if we were in the same check areas then? Don't get involved. Oh, don't get involved! I think we were all still a bit knackered after that game. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, how literally when we did the flights from the office to Denmark, I kind of felt really whacked. Yeah, I remember when we were flying into Denmark from the office, you kind of felt quite jet lagged, which was odd because it was only about roughly a 2-hour flight. And we were just taking from the central time zone to the mountain time zone, so about an hour. Yes, an hour's difference, but you still felt like really whacked. And we got into Denver like tea time. So it's like you not just hold out till you at somebody and then you can go and drop off. I remember coming back into the office was quite exhausting. I think I felt more we were flying back in to Minneapolis and Denver, not coming out into Denver. Yeah, that's yeah, but that is something to bear in mind because obviously we want to do a lot of road trips in the future. That's something to bear in mind. The travel from interstate that might whack me out compared to having to fly from continent to continent. But yeah, so there's always going to be high rocket prices in terms of flights, but you've got to deal with that. You've got to deal with the climate that we're in and the economy that we're in. So I don't see as much of a big. It is sort of an issue, but I don't see it as a big deal right now because I feel like if it leaves like it's business as usual, then they clearly have got a hand on it. If they have got a hand on it, then you might have a different opinion from us. But I just don't see it as that big of an issue. But it's an issue that's been brought up. And I'm sure it's an issue where a lot of people go, well, I'll bring up more as we now travel. But out we're going to California, we've got Nevada next year, and all sorts. But I just think, I do think the league is trying its best to make sure that travel is the smoothest possible. And that is made by the fact we look at the footprint. If we look at the footprint. Because I think this can be the kind of thing to close up on. Back in the inaugural season, travel was the big issue that us three had with regards to our team. Oh yeah. Because obviously, in the inaugural season, the only West Coast team at the time was us, Minnesota. The only one. Oh no, just oh my god. I got I've lost the plot. It's this fucking thing. I've lost the plot. I've lost control. You never had it! I've lost control of them. I really have. But yeah, I just knew to go there. Could be worse. What? She could have quoted, you're gonna start under my umbrella! Ella! Or, shine bright like a diamond! No, you started it! Well, sharp and drive! Oh my god! No! I need a timeout! Oh my god! He's actually putting his head against the wall! I was trying to do a serious point, you you've now got a little carpool karaoke. Who you two think you are, James Corden? Well, no, because we can sing. He can't. Do you ever go there? Because nobody cast for Into the Woods could fucking sing. Not even Mary Poppins. Oh, that's true. Cut. Truth! Harsh but fair. Right. The point I'm trying to make is, we were the only West Coast team for the first 2 seasons. And in our inaugural season, the 3 of us were just like, oh my god, how the hell are we gonna cope? Because you've got Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, all next door together. Boston, New York is probably more like a train drive. And then there's us. The lone West Coast team. And even though you could argue, well, yeah, you guys didn't win the World Cup and all that, and so forth. Okay, fine. But if you watch, you remember that local season, it was touch and go if we were going to qualify. It was touch and go those last few weeks. And even though this season that just gone, we added Seattle and Vancouver to the mix, I still feel that we need more Central Time Zone teams. For Minnesota, I'll happily even take Denver and Edmonton in the mountain regions, because I know it's easy to get from Denver to Minneapolis. You know, so yeah. But I remember this was a big deal for us three back in the inaugural season, because we were like, what are we going to do with the only West Coast team in there? So, yeah. But I hope. It's business as usual. So clearly the lead things, okay, well, it will be an issue to start with. It's not going to be as big an issue as you all think it will be. No. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay? And also, when we get our schedules in probably, say, October, it'll all become just that little more clearer. Right. I'm not going to do it. I'll see what your final thoughts, because I'll just go Rihanna again. So, you know what? Gonna wrap it up there. Wrap it up there. Thank you for joining us always, guys. Until next time, take care. Don't forget to breathe.